The United States is the world's biggest defense spender. In 2022, it spent over $800 billion on defense. In contrast, the national debt surpassed 100% of the country's GDP, which brings us to the obvious question: how did the US end up with so much debt in the first place? Ironically, one key reason is America's many conflicts. The post-9/11 wars, the United States has spent or sanctioned around $8 trillion on its wars, meaning they've spent $8 trillion on wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and on strengthening America's global security presence. $8 trillion. These wars were financed almost entirely through debt. Since 2001, these loans have ballooned and the interest keeps piling up. I have some estimates from 2020. Experts say the US borrowed some $2 trillion for its global war on terror. By 2030, interest on these loans would spike to $2 trillion. So the US will have to pay $2 trillion in principal and another $2 trillion in interest. So $4 trillion in all. And what happens if this interest keeps piling on, if they don't pay? By 2050, the interest payment alone would be worth some $6.5 trillion. So America's many wars are burning a hole in the taxpayer's pocket. And yet they haven't tightened their belt. This debt is now the biggest vulnerability of the US, not an external enemy, but its own growing pile of debt. And it should worry the world.